Let's set the scene. Imagine the blistering hot sun of Islamabad, Pakistan. Right there, below the iconic white steps of the Faisal Masjid, sits a figure who, for all intents and purposes, looks like a living corpse. And this, right here, is where an absolutely incredible story of deception and survival kicks off. I mean, flies are literally buzzing around his matted hair. His clothes, they're torn, caked with who knows how many layers of dirt and sweat, and sitting right in front of him is this sad, battered aluminum bowl. He is the very picture of someone who's been completely and utterly forgotten by the world. But honestly, it's his behavior that's on a whole other level. See, whenever a fancy VIP convoy pulls up, he scrambles to his feet and just starts frantically wiping the car's bonnet with these filthy rags. Of course, people curse at him, guards shove him to the ground, but instead of crying out, he just laughs. This hollow, manic sound, all while muttering total nonsense. To every single person there, he's nothing more than a mentally disturbed beggar.
But what if I told you that every single thing he does, every single move, is a complete and total lie? Because this isn't a madman. No, this is a meticulously crafted, deep cover persona. And inside this pathetic shell of a man is one of India's most skilled intelligence agents, an operative who has literally erased his own identity, all for a mission that is terrifyingly dangerous. So how in the world did he end up here? Well, a mission like this doesn't just happen overnight. It was actually born from 5 long years of failure and pure frustration. You see, for 5 straight years, India's intelligence agency, RAW, had been on this completely fruitless hunt for a very high-value target, a terrorist mastermind who was funding and planning attacks in India. They sent agent after agent, but every single time, the trail just went completely cold. And then, just like that, everything changed. A single cryptic text message came in from an asset in Pakistan. Just 3 words: Faisal Masjid, package. Now, in the world of espionage, a message that short can change the entire game. It was crystal clear. The target, the package, had been spotted. And that tiny spark was enough to reignite the whole operation. Our agent was sent in, and he adopted the perfect cover to get dangerously close. But here's the thing. Living as an invisible man isn't easy. The agent's bizarre habit of rushing towards those VIP cars, well, it eventually drew the wrong kind of attention. He ended up on the radar of the mosque's ruthless security chief, a man named Tariq. So one evening, a couple of guards just drag the beggar off the street and throw him into this secret interrogation room. You can just picture it, dim yellow light and Tariq's cruel face looming over him. Tariq is absolutely convinced this whole madness thing is just an act, that this man is part of something bigger. And so the interrogation begins. And what happens next is just this incredible display of an agent's mental conditioning. Tariq starts firing off sharp questions, and the agent just laughs, that same manic laugh. Tariq gets enraged and starts a brutal torture session, slaps, kicks, beating him to the ground. A normal person would break. But a trained agent, he can let his bones be broken, but he will never, ever betray his country's secrets. Covered in his own blood, the agent just crawls on the floor, muttering this delirious nonsense. "Sir's car, let me ride too. I want to go to heaven." Even while he's in excruciating pain, that insane, hollow smile never leaves his face. He is the beggar. There is no one else in that room. The act is so convincing, so absolute, that Tariq's suspicion finally just cracks. He's convinced he's just wasting his time torturing a genuine lunatic, so he orders his guards to just dump the bloodied body back on the street. Our agent, at an immense personal cost, has passed his first major test. Now, he's truly invisible. So after surviving that nightmare, nearly a full year goes by, day after day of insults, beatings, hunger, the scorching sun, and then, one afternoon, the moment he has been waiting for finally arrives. He spots his target. A heavily guarded convoy pulls up, and out steps India's most wanted terrorist. Seeing his country's enemy so close, you can just imagine his fists clenching, his blood boiling. But he's a professional. He knows he has no weapon, no backup. He swallows that rage and just melts back into character. The target has been confirmed. Now, he just needs one thing: a weapon. Okay, so this is where the agent's real tradecraft skills kick in. The helpless beggar by day becomes someone else entirely by night. He gets rid of the filthy rags and slips into the lawless back alleys of Rawalpindi, a place run by gangsters and smugglers. He changes his look, his accent, his entire vibe, becoming just another local thug. He spends his nights in their dens, drinking and gambling, slowly but surely earning their trust.
Eventually, he gets a meeting with a notorious arms dealer. He plays his part to perfection, tells the dealer he needs to settle an old score, and then he asks for a toy that doesn't scream. The dealer gets nervous. A silenced weapon means serious trouble. But when our agent throws a thick wad of raw supplied cash on the table, well, greed wins. The deal is done. He walks away with a silenced Russian pistol. So he's got the weapon. Mission should be simple now, right? Nope, not even close. This is where the agent's real test of patience, of sheer willpower, begins. He goes right back to his post at the Faisal Masjid, the cold steel of that pistol now a permanent part of him. For 11 more agonizing months, he waits. The pistol is tied to his chest, this constant cold reminder of his purpose. Through the biting cold of winter, the scorching heat of summer, and the drenching monsoon rains, he just waits. He protects that weapon from the elements before he even thinks about protecting himself. His body is breaking down, but his resolve, it never, ever wavers. And then, finally, the day comes. The familiar sirens, the convoy of black cars, they pull up. The middle car door opens. It's him. The agent's heartbeat goes perfectly still. This is it. This is the one moment he has lived and suffered for. The terrorist gets out and walks toward the mosque. About 45 minutes later, he comes back out. Just as the guards move to open his car door, our agent springs into action. He leaps up, screaming nonsense, and throws himself onto the car's bonnet, just frantically rubbing it with his dirty cloth. It's the perfect chaotic diversion. The terrorist, annoyed and disgusted, steps forward to shove this madman away. And in that one single, decisive second, the beggar completely vanishes. The agent's body just transforms. His eyes, once so vacant, are now laser-focused. In a blur of motion too fast for anyone to see, his left hand shoots out and grabs the terrorist's collar with a grip like iron. And in the exact same instant, his right hand slips inside his jacket. Before the terrorist's eyes can even register fear, before a single guard can even think about raising a weapon, 3 muffled sounds cut through the air. Thup, thup, thup. 3 bullets, delivered with perfect, deadly precision to the center of the target's forehead. The mission is done, but the escape has just begun. Chaos erupts. The terrorist falls like a pucket with its strings cut. Amid all the screaming and confusion, the agent holsters his pistol and just melts into the panicked crowd. But Security Chief Tariq sees him and realizes in absolute horror that the madman was the assassin. The chase is on. The agent sprints through the narrow, winding alleys of Rawalpindi, steals a motorcycle, and guns it onto the open highway. He thinks he's made it. But then he looks in his mirror, and it's a nightmare. Dozens of police cars are screaming down the highway right behind him. And even worse, up ahead, another blockade is forming, with vehicles racing straight towards him. He is trapped, caught between 2 closing walls of steel. There is absolutely no way out. So, what happens to him now?